Okay, so my name is Isaac David. I'm the RN in the pharmacy. What we have here is the ultra cold fridges, and this is where we store the vaccine. The vaccine that we have currently is the Pfizer vaccine. I'm unsure at the time of how many we have in here, but as you see, we have 2 ultra cold fridges, and then we have 4 thawing fridges. So the way the process works, we store the Pfizer vaccine between -80 and -60. Currently it's at -80, so that's in the correct threshold. When it comes to point in time for a new day, what we do is transfer vaccines from this fridge to that fridge. The amount of time we have allotted for that procedure is 90 seconds. So we have 2 timers running, one for 90, one for 70. When we're at 70, we know it's pretty critical, and it's time to just hurry that process up, but that hardly ever happens. So when it gets to this fridge, this is where we pull for the day. So if we have 1,500, we do about 300 vials. That'll be for 1,500. At that point in time, whenever we okay. So I'll give you a quick glimpse of what it looks like. So we have water bottles in here. Those are not for consumption. They're just there to help regulate the temperature. So whenever we pull from vials from this fridge, we may store it on a counter, on a cart, and it'll be in room temperature. At that point in time, it'll be good for, I believe, 2 hours. So from that point in time, we dilute it, and we have these little red bins right here. So these bins are pretty much equipped to extract at minimum 5 doses and at most 6. So I'll give you a quick glimpse. We have syringes, syringe tops, needles, and we also have what we call normal saline. So we dilute the vaccine in this, and that's how we get our 6 or 5 doses, depending on what it is. From that point in time, we have this little makeshift station right here. We have someone pulling the vaccines. We'll only have one individual pulling the vaccine. It'll be a pharmacist, or it'll be another lead RN. From that point in time, we'll have another RN right here, like Janet, who distributes the vaccines until we get to the processing point where everyone draws up and administers the vaccines. And that'll be it for us in this area.
So pharmacy back there basically handles the vaccine, gets all of the bins prepackaged with everything the nurse needs in order to draw up and reconstitute their vaccine. The nurses wash their hands back here, grab their bin. When they come into this area, this is where they reconstitute the vaccine. They dilute it, they draw it up into 5 or 6 doses with however much their vial has in it. Once they have that done, they go to the table down here where they do a quality check with the supervisor. The supervisor makes sure that there's no bubbles in there, the dosing is accurate, and as long as they pass that check, they can head out onto the floor and administer their vaccine. And there are also supervising nurses stationed out there keeping an eye on the administration process to make sure that that goes smoothly as well. It pretty much takes them, I'd say on average, about 15 minutes between getting their things, sitting down, getting their vaccine reconstituted, and then all of them drawn up, past the checkpoint, and then out onto the floor. Probably 15 minutes from grabbing that bin to getting out the door.
Gotcha.
So
and it usually goes
quick.
out about, how many go out in that red bin?
Ideally, we want them to have at least 5 because that's how many doses should be in the vial. A lot of the nurses can get 6. It just depends. So everyone pretty much is getting at least 5. Some of them get 6, and then as soon as they're done administering those, they go through dirty sanitation, re-sanitize, and then they come back and do it again.
Outstanding. I'm just going to quick record your name there so I can get the spelling all right. And what's the president? Oh, Sachin. You did the first vaccination.
I did do the first vaccination.
Yes, I remember you. Absolutely.
I'm one of the RN supervisors. My job basically is to help make sure that pharmacy is running smoothly, the floor is running smoothly, and I am responsible for training all of the new nurses we get, just to make sure their first time drawing up the vaccine, since it's such a different process with the Pfizer vaccine in particular. I have to walk them through the process, check them off, like their skills checklist, And then as soon as I've watched them do this process and I'm comfortable with that, I take them out onto the floor. I watch them administer their first vaccine. And as long as they pass that, they're free to go on their own and administer the rest of their vaccines. And there's always someone available for help. But then we do have those quality control checkpoints constantly set up to make sure there's a consistency with their skills. And if we do run into a situation where somebody needs help or has questions, wants to be retrained on anything, there's supervisors at every single point to kind of jump in and help them figure out where they need help, where they need to relearn and get that done quickly and get them back out there giving shots. So
Awesome.
yeah.
Let me ask you, what was the experience like to be, to administer the very first vaccination in this building? If you could repeat the question too,
Unexpected.
yeah.
I did not expect to be at all. They just said that as the nursing supervisors, they wanted us to be the first to be accredited to administer the vaccine. So I just happened to be the first one to complete drawing up the vaccine appropriately the fastest. It was a neat experience. I called and told my family about it. It was to go from doing contact tracing COVID units. I was initially supposed to be deployed here to help when the Javits Center was set up for the hospital, and finally getting to be here now at the end, well, hopefully the end of the coronavirus pandemic, just administering vaccines and fixing the problem. It was probably one of the coolest moments I've had as a nurse, and I've been a nurse for a while, so yeah, fun experience, excited to be here, happy to do my part to help, but yeah.
How's it gone as far as from getting here and kind of learning, hey, how this is going to go, and then to where it's at right now, day 2?
These, for being such a large group of nurses, starting all at the same time, not really knowing what we were walking into, this is an incredible group of nurses. They figured out what they were doing very quickly and streamlined the process. We had nurses troubleshoot sanitation wise, dirty sanitation versus clean sanitation. They've found and troubleshooted a lot of different areas, and yeah, they're all happy, excited to be here helping, and they've all done an excellent job. They're some of the best nurses I've ever met. Just a lot of different backgrounds, but they're all really good at kind of just jumping in and learning as we go. So
what has the experience, has it met your expectations of what you thought this mission was going to be like and to what it is?
it has far exceeded my expectations. The military did an incredible job setting up everything the way that it's set up, the process just from registration to getting them through the line, getting them vaccinated, pharmacy, just the whole thing. I didn't expect for it to be this efficient, and you guys have literally thought of everything. We basically are just here to fill in the spots, but it's definitely exceeded what I thought it would be as far as how organized and well thought out the entire process is. This is my first experience working with the National Guard, and it's definitely exceeded my expectations. Just the organization, how helpful everybody is, respectful, just very good at their jobs, all of them, very professional and well organized and efficient, and I wish all of the hospitals that I've worked at were run this well. Honestly, my job would be a lot easier in the civilian world, I guess you could say, if things ran as smooth as it does with the help of the National Guard here. So, yeah.